So now we're in front of a PUD, kind of a inside look at the house here with some tips on how you can better save some money when it comes to insulation and some really cheap fixes on the front end, which will last and take some long time value when it helps there. So let's start first with some things. Maybe if people are buying a new home or they're building a new home, it's the insulation that is in here. So you've heard of the different R values when it comes to insulation here, and we've got 3 different types here. So what are the differences, and how best do these help the energy efficiency of a home?
Yeah, all of these could be good examples of ways to insulate your home. Some of these depend on what part of the home. Some may work better in attics or in walls or in floors, right? And all of those are really important. And right now, I mean, if you have a house and it's not well insulated, it's kind of crazy to think of pulling all the sheetrock down
for sure,
and putting something in. So that's why that middle option is a blow-in option, which still you might have to put some holes in your walls, but there might be just a certain section of your home where that would be useful. Or if you are doing some remodeling or building something new, definitely check out all your options and look at that R value. That's basically the value of the efficiency of the different types of insulation, how much it's going to keep the cold air where it should be and the hot air where it should be. And that just saves you so much money over time.
And I've seen this stuff like in my attic space, and I also have seen like a measuring tape that's in there, and it kind of shows where you should have it be. And so that's the same thing. A company could come in, and if it is in the walls, they put a little hole in and shoot it in there, or they just shoot it off into the attic, right?
Yes, yeah, they'll definitely just blow it in there.
What is this? This looks like wood.
I think it's actually a really firm foam core. And according to my cheat sheet, a lot of that is used actually more in concrete slabs or things like that. You're going to see that more likely in basements and certain types of roofs. But yeah, that one you're not as likely to see in walls. But we want to just throw it in there just as another example of something you might see in one of your walls.
And this too kind of reminds me of, my puffy jacket.
Yes.
like the way that the puffy jackets keep you warm and insulated.
Yeah, the puffier, the warmer.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
Okay. So the other thing I notice here is with this plug and this outlet on the inside here, you've got some like caulking or something there that is sealing portions of this. What's that do?
Yeah, so sometimes some of your air leaks actually do come through things like electrical outlets, or any other kinds of holes in your walls, especially if the walls themselves aren't well insulated. That can be another way. If you can't put in new insulation, there might be a way to kind of help block a little bit more of that air by insulating around electrical outlets. You might be able to pull off the face and see, of course, turn off the power of that circuit before you do anything with any of your electrical.
And you were saying that you could even put your hand over and maybe feel it on a windy day.
Yes, sometimes. Yeah, if you're really looking at a poor insulation situation, you might be able to just put your hand over the top of it and feel that air coming in.
So another thing about the energy efficiency on the other side of that is using items that take up a lot of energy. And we have actually a perfect example here.
But it's just so small.
It's so small,
and that much.
This is one of these heaters that a lot of folks will have under their desk or just in a certain part of their room. And I mean, this isn't very big, right?
No.
So, but you were saying that this could be a huge cost if you use it a lot.
Yes. We do call them sneaky little space heaters for a reason. I mean, they're great to have. Yeah. We're not saying don't ever use them. Just be aware that when you're using them, they might be taking more power than you think they are. So one of the cheats we do is we look at the bottom label, and on pretty much any electronics, you should be able to find a label that'll tell you some of the voltage, amperage. But what we're going to watch is for 1,500 megawatts. 1,500 watts is what this takes to heat your home. So,
and how much time?
Exactly. So if that's 1,500 watts, your bill is based on kilowatt hours.
Okay.
So your bill is based on how much power, that 1,500 watts, times the number of hours that you're using it.
So this is 1.5 kilowatt hours.
So this is 1.5 kilowatts. So if you use it for an hour, that's 1.5 kilowatt hour.
And you can see the rates that are on your bill. You can check that out and do the math.
That's
but
right.
we did the math beforehand.
Yes.
And if you're doing this for 10 hours a day.
Right, that's
let's
a
say,
lot.
Over the course of a month, that's 30
Around
days.
30 days.
So you could be between $45 to $90 if you do it all the time. Mm-hmm. And that's just this unit.
Just the one unit. And most people have space heaters, probably have more than one. So
yeah.
if you got 2 space heaters, you might be looking at $160 for a month to run those all day long.
And
right?
then again, that's just coming from the power drawn to this unit
yes.
itself. That's in addition to everything else that you have in your house.
Right.
Holy moly.
So if you don't need a space heater, if
right.
you have some other more efficient source of heat, use that. Throw on some slippers.
Right.
Invest in some nice warm slippers.
I mean, for that much money, you can get a good jacket or a parka or something like that.
Exactly.
Or call somebody to help insulate your home better.
That's right. And if you are concerned, if you don't have a really great way to insulate or you don't have a great way to heat your home, there are tons of incentives that we have right now and always. But right now in particular, we have even more better incentives for upgrading your heat pump or a ductless heat pump or even a lot of other projects. Insulation, fantastic incentives we have for that, especially if you're starting with little to nothing.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Some of the other things that we were talking about and we'll look at here are just some simple over-the-counter things from this up at Walmart, right?
Yes. This was a stop at Walmart. I grabbed a few things. You've probably heard of caulking, and every time you think of caulking, you usually think of those big guns and a gooey mess.
Oh, yeah.
And like people like me know that I have to wear a particular shirt that I don't care about. It's going to be gross.
Seams.
So this actually is just an example of one part. There's actually a squeeze tube. This is what I would use because I'm too messy to use a caulking gun. But this helps a lot. And I've used a squeeze tube around my windows to go just put some, there, it could be on the inside, here on the edges, or it could be on the outside on the edges, either right where your window meets your house or even around it sometimes.
So this just helps seal the seam.
Yeah, seal the seam, not let any air in.
And I would imagine on the outside of it too, it would help with water.
Absolutely. Yeah, so it's a twofer.
So might as well do it. Now, hold on, before we have to move around a little bit. This is another thing, is energy efficient lighting.
Yes.
That if you don't move around a lot, that the lights will this is perfect that this did this, that the lights will go off automatically. So if you leave a room and you are forgetful to turn the lights off, it'll shut them off for you. How do we do this?
That's nice. Yeah, we do have to jump around. But while we're doing this,
we can get some exercise and warm up a little bit.
I don't know. We'll see. Do a little dance here.
Well,
when I walked across the room before it did it.
So again, these are different ways that you can do this, and they have these types of sensing fixtures and plugs and things like that at a hardware store as well that you can install into your different homes. I have these at my house in a couple different places.
Yeah.
I have them more like, so when I'm taking the laundry into the laundry room with two hands, it'll turn on when I walk in, so I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But these work really well.
Oh yeah, these are great, and we have these throughout the building here. But as we're on lighting, you might have noticed my lovely holiday lights.
It's right around the corner.
So if you're going to do holiday lights or lighting of any kind, definitely go LED. They're at least 6 times more efficient than traditional bulbs. It's hard to even get the traditional, but if you're looking at fluorescent or halogen or other types, whether it's your home or business, if you can upgrade to LED, do it. If it's a big project, talk to us. We might have some ideas and thoughts for you too.
And a lot of places too are moving to LED when it comes to general lighting in their home.
Yes.
We had that kind of middle period with the compact fluorescence, the CFL bulbs. Those are pretty much done. That would seem like a bridge between the old incandescents and the LEDs now.
Right. Yeah. And those are, those are probably hard to find, but you might still have them in your home. If you do, you can dispose of them with us. We can take those for you because they do have some toxic chemicals inside. Thankfully, that's not the truth of LEDs.
No.
We finally figured things out, got the light right, and there's so many different options for the warmness and brightness of the LEDs you grab. So
this is another type of caulking that you were showing me, and this is a little different. Press to seal rope caulk.
Yeah, this is what I found actually a couple of years ago. I was playing around trying to figure out, easy ways for the non-DIY person. And basically, you can feel it's a little sticky, but you can just peel off pieces.
Yeah.
And then roll it into even balls if you got a strange hole.
And then you just kind of shove it in.
Stick it in there.
Okay.
And it's almost like that silly sticky puck or silly putty.
Silly putty, yeah.
Almost like silly putty, but then there's like the stuff you use on the sticky on your wall as well. So eventually it'll dry out there.
Okay.
But it's just something to seal if you do have those holes.
So, if I'm looking at this stuff, I'm like, there's no way that this is going to save me money, right? But over the cost of time,
yes,
it has been proven that it'll help lower your bills. What is, you have this other thing here?
Yes, I have one other thing. This is a door sweep.
Okay.
This one happens to be basically a peel and stick, self-adhesive, so you can cut it down to the size of your actual door and stick it on there. So especially if you feel air coming out from under the door or you see light, that's usually your first indicator. Is if you see the light, just put this on there so that it kind of blocks that. And I would say really, if you've ever had a door or a window that's been kind of breezy for you and you seal this thing up, you'll immediately feel the difference. So even though it's hard to think of this as being a big money saver, you can feel immediately that it's going to make things more comfortable as well. You know?
One final thing is that we'll look at, and this is
I
have these at my house too, these blackout curtains.
Yep.
Now how would these help with efficiency?
So windows a lot of the time are going to be the source of either heat or cold air. No matter how efficient they are, they may not ever be perfect.
Yeah.
But when the sun is shining,
right,
you can feel the warmth coming in through the window, right?
Yeah.
So it's that same concept. If you got a cold wind blowing, it's gonna come through a bit. So if you block them though, this is just almost like another layer of insulation for your windows.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
If the sun is shining and it's winter and it's nice and warm, open the curtains by all means. But if it's cold and rainy and windy, close those curtains and keep that cold air out.
So you can, obviously you see my arm here, but you can't see anything on this side.
Yes.
And we use them because we go to bed early. It doesn't really matter now, but they work great for what they're there for, blackout curtains.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's both, if you want to block out the light to watch a good movie or block out the light to go to bed early, they're there, but they're also an important part of efficiency.
Are there places on the website where folks can get these facts as well, and maybe they can even just Google energy efficiency tips or something like that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We've got so much, actually, when it comes to what you can do, easy things to do, and, some more bigger projects to do. So PUD3.org/save energy is actually a quick one. But yeah, we have all kinds of information. That's just your tips and tricks. They can run through a checklist of things to go look at, things to see. And then if you want to, give us a call if you're still trying to find the source of energy leaking.
Yeah. The app, right?
Yes. And that's the other thing too. If you're not sure how your usage has been, or if you want to check and see, maybe you're wondering if it's a space heater that's draining your energy, go ahead and shut that off. Check your Smart Hub app, see the difference in a couple of hours or a day or two or something. And if you really want to know, you can give us a call. We can give you even more immediate results from turning things off or turning things on. We can usually be pretty good investigators just over the phone or through video chat.
Oh, that's cool.
To find out what might be the source of energy drain.
Well, and then we were talking, and I was like, this is amazing that this would save a lot of money. But then in the long run, as we're talking about the space heater, how small and compact it is, but just how much of a big waster of energy if it's on all the time. And you definitely want to make sure that if you're not in the room, you don't have it on.
Right. Yeah, that's a whole other thing too.
But I mean, if this can take, let's see, 8 cents, 10, 15 cents an hour, then the cost of the caulking could cover that plus more in the course of a week or whatever.
Yeah, $5, $10
yeah.
tube of caulking or a weather strip for your door. There's different other types of weather stripping as well, but all of that really does make a big difference.
And I remember from when I was here with the kids that if it does heat, then it's even more. So that was like these things, and it was like the coffee maker warmer thing. And even some of the video game machines have a lot of power.
If it's its job specifically to create heat of some sort, it's usually a pretty high wattage. Hair dryer. You don't usually use hair dryers for hours and hours, so you get away with it. You don't spend a whole lot of money on hair dryers. But
it can
things
add
like
up
heaters,
over time.
yeah, absolutely. And anything that produces heat is going to use a lot of energy.
I'm here with Sheila from the PUD at the PUD Operations Center on Johns Prairie, and they're always able to help you too. Again, the website pud3.org. I'll put the links to that in the show notes. But with some simple tips and a little bit of free time, you may be able to patch up some drafty parts of your house and not only save some money, but again, that makes sense to make it a little just more comfortable for you as you move in through the winter. Thank you.
Yes, thanks for coming out.
For sure.